Were you watching the very moment the shot rang out? Well, yeah, sure. You're asking meaningless questions. Meaningless! Contradictions, Mr. Wright, not meaningless babble. That's not an objection. I'm trying to keep them from talking to the witness. To what end? There wasn't everything on like that boat. Are you sure about that? Yeah, sure as a country gal can be. Sounds pretty sure. Press further. How come you're so sure? Well, heck, I scanned the whole lake. Scanned the whole lake. It almost sounds like she was more interested in the lake than the boat. Miss Hart, you... Mr. Wright, the witness has answered the question in full. And there's a new question that comes out of her answer. No need for further questions. Objection sustained. I don't care. Just stop. I think further we need to hear, Mr. Wright. Seems you're unable to find a contradiction. I found 3! 3! I found 3 contradictions to what she just said. Game. Writers. If you want the picture to be clear enough that you can see, don't say it's foggy. 'Cause you did, game. You did. And you've got this disparity of the numbers. That's still a contradiction to the evidence we have. Even if it's not a lie, it is still a contradiction. Your Honor, keep your promise. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid that I will have to penalize any further outbursts by holding you in contempt. He's outbursting all the flipping time! This is feeling a little bit like... So, Pillars of the Earth. I don't know when this is going out. But I finished playing Pillars of the Earth by when this is going out, when I'm recording this. I've finished recording Pillars of the Earth. And there's a section of it where it's just hopeless. And it feels like you can't succeed. And I don't like that in games. Because it's just, what's the point if there's no... Like, unless it builds the story like it's a kind of supposed to lose fight where you could... But I think that should be a certain length anyway, and not going too long. But this feels like... Yes, everything is kind of stacked against you, all the odds are stacked against you, but there's... With what's happening here, it doesn't feel like I have a chance. The game is just going, right, no, we're just going to say you lose. In which case, what's the point of putting me through all of this? If that happens, you'll have to leave the courtroom immediately. Will you get out? Understood. Nick, Lotta's testimony is fishy, Nick. I know that. Thank you, game. You don't need to tell me something like that. I figured that out. 3 contradictions. The annoying thing is, this is the thing I find really annoying, is I like the investigation bit, and I like trying to find contradictions in the testimony in general. I like these ideas. I like parts of this game. It's just, there's just so much ridiculous, unnecessary, rubbish narrative goop that's blocking the puzzles. Just give me the puzzles. Maybe I should just play games where you're just a detective and you're trying to investigate. That'll probably make me feel better. But if I can't say anything, what can I do? I believe we've covered the evidence sufficiently to make a decision. No, you haven't. Then pass your judgment. Very well. Mr. Miles Edgeworth, please take the stand. Who was that? It was me. Maya? Is something wrong? Do you need to use the facilities? No, I do not. Lotta Hart, your testimony stinks. How come I can't say this? It's unclear whether you were actually looking at the lake. It's highly doubtful that you actually saw Mr. Edgeworth. Tell us the truth. This is a matter of life or death. Lotta! Did you really clearly see Mr. Edgeworth that night? Did you see him fire that pistol? You will stand down. That's a very good question for a cross-examination, you prat. You idiot, you moron. The court does not acknowledge the defence's outburst. It's the defence's position. So you recognise that she's a member of the defence team, which means she has the right to cross-examine. Answer me, Lotta. What's the big idea, treating me like some kind of criminal? I saw him, I swear it. I saw Edgeworth. Enough. Judge. Declare the defence in contempt of court. Yes, of course. I'm sorry, but you were warned. God, escort Mr. No! I didn't do anything! You can't escort me out if I've not done anything. He's in contempt of court and must leave. No. Wait. I was the one who made the outburst, Your Honor. How can he not tell the difference between Maya Fey and Phoenix Wright? Nick is innocent. What's the difference? All that remains is for the guilty verdict to be declared. Isn't that right, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Wrong. What? Did you hear what Miss Hart just said? She said she clearly saw Mr. Edgeworth. That was not in the testimony. That changes her testimony, and I have a right to cross-examine her again. Order! You're in contempt of court. It's too late for wild claims. Judge, sustain my objection. I'm sorry, Mr. Von Karma, but I cannot. For game and narrative purposes, I must at last show a spine, although I won't charge you with contempt of court, though you're acting contemptuously all the time. What? Miss Lotta Hart has made a new testimony. The defense does have a right to cross-examine her again. But he's in contempt of court. No, I am. If you're going to arrest someone, arrest me. Very well. Maya Fey, you will leave the courtroom immediately. Nick, I did what I could. You have to do the rest. Good luck. I care not for this melodrama. Listen well, Mr. Wright. I do not tolerate badgering of my witnesses. I'm running out of time. I better find a contradiction here or else. Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. That last statement, what did she say again? I saw it clear as day. The man on the boat was Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, that's it? Right, so I'm going to save, because I'm not sure exactly what piece of evidence it is that we're going to have to use. I think it's... back. Oh, no, not that one. You said this was foggy. I didn't mean to press that button, but I got you. Oh, got you! This is different! It's an actual new bit of dialogue, so this is a correct contradiction, despite the other three also being contradictions. No, wait! This is what I said last time! This was one of those three contradictions! This is one of the three contradictions I put forward. She said she could see who it was, and it was clear. So I said, no, it wasn't clear, it was foggy. Look at this picture. And that's what this contradiction's going to be, isn't it? It is, isn't it? What? You got what? Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. The photo I took? The very same. There's something I want you to see in this photo. It's quite clearly visible. The fog, Miss Hart. This was my point. This was the contradiction I had before. So, This picture was taken with professional high-quality film, correct? Yet even it could not capture the faces of the men on the boat. Yet you claim you saw Mr. Edgeworth. How? What? What? Mr. Wright has a point. That's why I told her not to say that in her testimony. Please. Okay. So you wanted your key witness to say that not say Mr. Edgeworth is involved. That's a bit dodgy. Yet now she has said it, Mr. Von Karma. How could you possibly see Mr. Edgeworth? Explain yourself. Miss Hart. What? Could you see the defendant that night? Of course. I said I could, and I meant I could. And please testify as to the circumstances of your sighting. I did it. I finally found a hole in Von Karma's carefully vague testimony. I'd already found 3 or 2 other ones. Still saying those numbers are contradictory. Which is annoying, because it's probably gonna... That might come up later. Which is annoying, because it fits now. How Edgeworth was seen. Yeah, you're right. It was a cold night and the fog was thick as grits. Once I was finished setting up my camera, I got back in the car. Still, I brought my binoculars with me. When I heard that noise out on the lake, I looked through my binoculars. They're not gonna see through fog. They're not magic. No problem. You used binoculars? Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Oh, better be good. That just doesn't make any sense! You're right, it was cold. Once I was finished setting up my camera, I got back in the car. I brought my binoculars with me. When I heard that noise out in the lake, I looked through my binoculars. If there was a heavy fog, how would binoculars change that at all? What do you mean? Even binoculars can't see through fog. But you say you clearly saw him? I did, yeah. Enough. There is no room for doubt in her testimony. She sounded pretty doubtful to me. To find clear contradictions. Oh, I hate this. That is just contradictory to reality. I don't need to present something as evidence when something is just contradictory to the laws of nature. I don't care how many Von Karmic objections I get. I'm going to find a hole in this testimony if it's the last thing I do. Cold night, the mist was thick as grits. Once I was finished setting up my camera, right, okay, so that was, oh, I have to go right to the beginning, to the end. So I brought my binoculars with me. When I heard that noise out from the lake, I looked at my binoculars, right. What evidence do I have? Unless it's meant to be like, that's the direction she was facing. But I don't think that's the case. I think that's just roughly where she was. But she could have looked through the side window anyway. You're right, it was a cold night and the mist was thick as grits. Okay, we'll just press and see if something comes up. How could you see Edgeworth? Now, just hold your horses for a second. Hasty Yankee types never find a girl where I'm from. Parents Jodies have trouble with that as it is. Nobody loves me. Once I was finished setting up my camera, I got... Your camera? Yeah, it's got an automatic... The issue we are concerned with is Miss Hart seeing Mr. Edgeworth. The camera has nothing to do with this door. Objection sustained. That's... Binoculars? Yeah, binoculars. Yesterday you mentioned that you were out looking for shooting stars, correct? Well, yeah. Wouldn't you need a telescope, not binoculars for that? I've got doubts about your camera too. Does that really take pictures of meteor showers? The camera is irrelevant in this case. Can't say that for certain. Mr. Wright, is the camera really relevant to this case? Yes, Because it's taking one of the pictures while she got it. If you believe it is, you may continue with this line of questioning. But know this, if you find nothing with this, there will be consequences. Well, Mr. Wright, you wish to push further about the camera? Save. I don't want to get trapped, stung by this doing silly things. And make it or break it. The camera is of utmost importance, Your Honor. It is perhaps the key to this entire case. Therefore, I will continue my line of questioning. Maybe I went a little overboard there. Yeah, I'd say that. I don't think this is key to the case. It's important. Very well. Miss Hart, you will testify to the court about the camera. Yeah, I hear you. The camera was set up to take pictures of a meteor shower. And I heard that noise out. Okay. Miss Hart, what made you choose that lake to photograph meteors? You know the fog gets thick on that lake. It's not very suited to stargazing. Yeah, well, you see, I guess I wasn't thinking too straight. Mr. Wright, I will not have you badgering my witness because of her challenged intellect. Now, wait a minute. Continue your testimony. You're saying how it was that you saw Edgeworth. Grr. No unnecessary comments, please. Can I challenge this? Why does it have a? Why is it set to detect loud noises if it's looking for meteor showers?
Objection!
This is the. I've had this problem for a while. You're photographing shooting stars. There we go. That's a lie. Says who? I saw the camera you set up yesterday. It was pointed directly at the lake. You have to point a camera upwards to take photos of the stars, Miss Hart. Oof. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? The witness was not at the lake to photograph shooting stars, Your Honor. Well then, what exactly was she photographing? Your Honor, take a look at this. What was Miss Hart? Oh, was Miss Hart trying to photograph the lake? Because when that appeared, there was a big bang. There we go.
Take that!
Yeah, take that. Miss Hart, this is what you were trying to photograph. What's this? A newspaper article? Gertie? Ah, the sighting at Gerd Lake. Well, Miss Hart, I never heard of no lake monster. You got proof or something? Let's see you prove that I was down at the lake trying to photograph this Gertie. Okay, I'm going to save again, because I don't know what it's asking for in terms of proof. No, I've already saved. I have proof. I have it. Proof. Intriguing. Very well. Let's see it. No joking around this time, please. What is proof the witness was trying to photograph Gertie, the lake monster? Set.
Take that!
The proof, Miss Hart, is your own camera. Your camera was set to take photos in response to loud noises, correct? Thus, this photograph here, taken when a gun fired on the lake. And here, this article about Gertie. According to this article, Gertie made a loud noise when it emerged. Well, you were trying to photograph Gertie, weren't you? That's why you had set your camera to respond to loud noises. Order! Order! I see. I too thought it was a little strange. Yeah, sure. Well, Miss Hart, you were camping there to try and take a photo of Gertie, weren't you? Yeah. Not bad. Are all you lawyers that smart? So smart, boy. I was down there trying to photograph Gertie. You got me. So what? Huh? That don't change what I saw, does it? Exactly. What you just used several precious minutes of our time to prove. It's nothing more than the witness is an idiot who thinks monsters exist. Hey. But, as she so succinctly said, so what? It changes nothing. Not true. Hiding the whole thing about Gertie for some reason, I know it. What could it have been? Whatever it is, I'm getting to the bottom of this.